Hi there, guys. This is Vinney Chopra again. As you know, we come live every week, sometimes twice a week on Vinney's, show. It's the Apartment Syndication Made Easy, the book I wrote, and now this is the supplemental, podcast. I'm here in Cancun. To give you an idea, it's a really cool out here. I don't get to really interview, guests from here, but family and we are here, but it's kind. It's nice to be able to work hard and play hard, like I say. I would like to introduce these two great guests of mine. They're great friends also. Thomas Khammar. Thomas Khammar, managing partner of the Power Capital Group, possesses a wealth of experience in all aspects of real estate. He provides himself as a strong skill as a problem solver and negotiator who can find win-and-win situation in every situation. And his expensive network of contacts always, Thomas, is quickly address any kind of problem, from the simplest task to the most difficult one, complex one. I've seen that. So true, Thomas. You're so right. Demanding issue, he finds meeting these challenges very rewarding. And when it comes to dealing with investors, owners, and property managers, tenants, Thomas' strong legal background is in great value also. And then Thomas refers to himself as a family guy. I know he likes to take a lot of vacations, which is great, and spend time with the family. He loves spending time with beautiful wife and 3 children, especially when they are opportunity to travel, the world. Thomas is also a big fan of the 49ers right there in the Bay Area where I am from, and Lakers and Dodgers and LAFC. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Good to have you, brother.
Thank you. What a read there. I love it.
I also want to really talk about today about your friendship and your, working together as a team. So Brent Parsons is a team player, partner of Thomas, and they're both together. We're going to dig really deep into what it takes to be strong partners for almost 2009, right? You guys started 14 years back.
2005. 2005.
Yeah, right at about 16 years back. So that'll be great. And Brent Parsons, Power Capital Group managing partner. Brent Parsons has over 25 years of experience in the real estate industry, and handling everything from real estate sales to property management to syndication. His ability to multitask while addressing problems big and small enables him to deliver superior customer service while gaining the confidence of investors, owners, and tenants when collaborating on syndication opportunities. And Brent's priorities making investors' assets as protect. I know the listeners are listening. They say, boy, we want to get some great nuggets from both of you. Brent strongly believes in setting the clear expectations and maintaining an open channel of communication. I know we're going to talk about that as partners. And then again, Brent has he's also California broker, like me, licensed, and received his bachelor's degree in business administration from Washington State University. That's where you guys are in Spokane over there.
Right.
Yeah. And when he's not at work, Brent enjoys spending time with his family, golfing and traveling. Well, welcome. I know some of the podcasters listen, read a little bit. I like to read the whole thing so that, it's kind of good. And how are you both? How are you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. I know you guys are smiling. You've done syndications. I know COVID hasn't stopped you last year. You just closed another deal there in Dallas, and you have put, I think, acceptance of the contract maybe on another one in Texas. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, we're negotiating on a few right now. So it's just kind of, the game. It's kind of going back and forth, and the market's red hot. So it's a matter of finding the right deal, the right numbers that pencil out.
I love it. It's so true. I mean, everybody wants to overpay right now. Competition is so fierce so fierce. I know I traveled to Tennessee where John is, right there in Knoxville, and we won that deal, Adelaide, out of 16 other bidders. Oh my gosh,
Wow.
16
Wow.
bidders. Luckily, we got it with the hard money up front and paid, really nice, good price, but it's got a good value add. Anyway, yeah, no, that's great. Congratulations on that. Tell me more, if you could, if please. You started many years back. I mean, you reached out to me 2 years or 3 years back, something, but you were managing 3,000 units already, Thomas and Brent, right? So
Yeah.
what were some of the pain points that got you guys to, expand into syndication now?
I think, Thomas was the one, Vinney, who told me to read your book.
Okay, okay.
He had already read it twice. So
Yeah.
I read it, and I think after reading it, that's when we reached out to you and kind of took the fast track into syndication. We've been in real estate, for the last 20 years, from buying our own single family homes, managing properties. So we know from start to finish what it takes in property management, ownership, how to run a property, financials, everything. So it was really after meeting with you, doing the fast track to syndication, which we love. And I think within 3 months we had 2 deals up in Spokane, Washington, closed. So
yeah, no, I remember that. My God, you were fast learners. I mean, you had so much experience already. I don't take it upon me. I mean, you were Chargers. I remember you flew in. I mean, I still remember that. I was telling my wife today, that I'm meeting with you today. And she said, oh, yeah, go ahead. Family's enjoying. So no worries. But no, that was tremendous. You guys both came from, Woodland Hills, I think, Los Angeles area.
Yep.
And then we spent some time, had lunch and all. No, that's great. Tell me more about, like syndication world. So you are now getting into bigger deals and also expanding. So
Right.
What has that resulted in? Right.
So, we've, I think, learned that the more, just like anything almost in life, the more you expand your network, the more you kind of expand your wings, sort of say, and grow and add a partner or two into a deal, or look at things with kind of a different perspective, you really start to kind of grow organically. And, going back to what you said earlier, one of the biggest things that having a trusted partner like Brent in place is good, is that we really are kind of, all jokes aside, we really are kind of that yin and yang, right? So
I know, I remember you mentioned it. I remember. Yeah.
Right. When I'm very bullish on a deal and I'm like, let's buy it. Like we wrote up an offer over the weekend. Brent and I didn't even talk. This broker sent us a deal, fully vacant, smaller building. We have some cash sitting out of a refi, not a syndication, just something Brent and I would be buying ourselves. And I literally wrote back on the email within like 20 minutes, let's write it up full price, let's go 10 day hard and we're done. So Brent this morning sends me an email. He's like, well, I haven't even reviewed it, but doesn't this seem a little high, price per door? And that's what the kind of the yin and the yang is, right? It's kind of like you go home, Vinney, you're upset about something, and the wife says, well, she kind of gives you a different perspective on it, right? And you kind of really wake up and realize, okay, maybe I'm overthinking it, or whatever it is. That's what a good partnership really does, right? So I think Brent and I really kind of hold each other accountable to a higher standard than most, and we really push each other. I mean, look, I read your book on, I want to say it was like on a Friday night. Amazon delivered the book. Saturday, I had already finished the book. Sunday, I read it again because I was so interested in it and intrigued by what was said. And Monday we were already talking to you, and I want to say it was like Wednesday we flew up.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't linger on things, and I think that that's where a lot of not only literally the value add in, you know, buildings gets lost, but just the value add in a partnership might get lost too. Is that, you know, we use each other to kind of hold each other accountable, but really push each other to keep going and getting better and improving.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's a great partnership. It really is. You know, when you're moving in the same direction, it's like the locomotive, right? You know, on the rail, in the same way. But at the same token, you're complementing each other and, you know, holding back or pushing, you know, to make sure that you're making the right decisions. Brent, what would you add to you know, why your partnership has been so great over so many years? I know I hear so many people say partnerships don't work.
No, I've heard that quite a bit. And, you know, I think you hear of all the failures of different partnerships. And quite frankly, I think Thomas and I are an exception because it's lasted for so long. As good as it is, it does mesh well together, but I think at the end of the day, we have the common goal to succeed. You know, we have core family values.
Yeah.
And I think that translates to what we want to do and succeed in life, and our ambition and our desire and our will to push each other every day. We know each other's capabilities. So we're always pushing each other one way or the other, and holding each other accountable. You know, and kind of catapulting that into syndication, we really learned not only our relationship, but as a team, we need other team members to bring on to do different tasks that we don't do well.
Yeah.
So we're really using the foundation of our partnership to encompass more of a team effort. And you have to have a team effort, right? You know us more than anybody. For underwriting, for CapEx, to run the financials, to raise capital, you know, the list goes on. And one person can't do it all. Two people can't do it all. You know, your legal team, you need a good core team. And, you know, I think going into this last deal in Dallas, we really realized that how we need to have a solid team, ready, willing, and able.
So true. So true.
Right.
You know, I would love to go deeper into that, but can I ask, like, I know the audience would love to know, when you started partnering in the early years, so many years back, what were you looking and how did you really get started? Like, did you have a job descriptions? Kind of take us back. I think that can help a lot of people listening and watching us, you know?
I have a feeling Brent is gonna eat this one up. He's got many jokes for this one, so I'm gonna let him take over on answering this one.
Take over. No worries. Let's do it.
I thought with that smile, Thomas, you were going to take this and run. You know, we were
glasses on now. We got the glasses on.
I'm getting old on you, Vinney. I need them to see sometimes now.
We were in different places, I think, in our lives. Thomas is a little younger than me. I was in a sales job with Ticketmaster. But I think at the end of the day, when we met each other, again, that connection of we were both getting in our real estate, we were both getting our licenses. We were very new to the game. I think I just bought a duplex. But with the introduction, again, I think we both had the same desire to do what we can in real estate. And we took that partnership up. And this, as you said, it doesn't happen in partnerships that last, you know, either from the beginning or in our case, 20 years later, but we partnered up right out of the gates. And, you know, who would have thought this white boy and this Lebanese kid were going to become such good partners. And, you know, again, common goals, the will and want to succeed really kept its course.
And the family, the value system, is so strong, right? That is, I feel that, having those strong foundation, the trust, right? The trust, the gumption, I mean, the sweating, both sides, and, making sure that nobody feels that somebody is outdoing them, right? You probably gave your best every single time. Were you meeting like in an office right away? No, you were working in a different place, like part-time, or how did you start?
Thomas?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Brent.
We started with a small brokerage in the same office, and that broker was doing loans, so we understood the loan business, all the positive, the negatives of it, and from there we just grew to different brokerages and kind of kept up, getting better and better with the brokerage, to a mid-sized broker, to Keller Williams Santa Monica brokerage, in which we had our own office overlooking the ocean, with assistants. And that's when the business was booming. And then we had the collapse of everything, and so we've been humbled. So we've been, we haven't been in the business 20 years. I don't think is that long to be in the business, but it's in long enough to learn the ups and downs. And we did, and that's where we, right during that time, we started the management company. So it was working, 60-hour weeks, making pennies, for quite some time.
I don't remember you ever working 60-hour weeks, Brent.
I'm talking about,
maybe
I was combining 2 weeks.
60 hours. No, I think again, like kind of going back to it, because I think it's just so important. We push each other and we look back, and it's like you said, I mean, we met with you, and I think a week later we were already doing our first syndication.
I know.
Right?
Wow.
And since then we've done, 4 or 5 syndications. We've bought, refied, obviously the whole Burr method, right? The buy and rehab. I mean, we've done, I don't know, 8-10 buildings in the 2 years.
Wow.
And we just keep on doing it, and we build the relationships, because at the end of the day, it's really, family values is a huge thing. Obviously, Brent and I have the same. I mean, our kids are everything, our wives and the whole nine, but it's also just personal values of do the right thing, and let's see, is it a win-win? And if it's not a win-win, let's slow down and let's figure out either where we're wrong or where the other person's wrong. And, I am very much more, I don't know if you could tell, Vinney, but I'm a lot more of an A-type than Brent. Brent is very much, analyzes things and writes it down. And so I push him a lot to, come on, dude, let's make a decision. Let's go. Are we going to, redo the roof, or are we going to just fix it? Are we going to redo the asphalt, or are we just going to fix it? I personally, the way my brain works, I don't have the time to, and I'm sure I do, but in my head, I don't have the time to sit there and overanalyze things, right? But that's a huge flaw of mine, I admit it. And then that's where Brent kind of comes in, and it meshes so well.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And it's gotten to a point where even our bankers and our insurance brokers, and they know, I mean, they know how we operate, right? So like my banker emailed me today, and she's like, hey, Thomas, on this deal, it looks like we're, we can cash out a lot more than we originally anticipated. Do you want the cash out? And I was like, no, I don't. I think we should just keep it, let's keep cash flowing the property, right?
Sure.
She wouldn't go to Brent for that question, because at the end of the day, she knows what Brent does, and she knows what I do. And we both, I like to think we do our jobs fairly well. And so it really kind of keeps things moving along,
Excellent. No, that's very nice. What would you say, like, somebody who's starting brand new, who wants to look for a partner, what some few nuggets would you like to tell them? what should they look for in a partner?
I'm really big on don't go into a partnership long term, right?
Mhm.
I love the idea of being with a partner long term. Brent and I own multiple businesses.
Yep.
I don't know, 16 apartment buildings ourselves amongst us, and we have 5 or 6 syndications, and it seems like our lives are almost like this, right? And that's fine because it works.
Yeah.
But for a new partner, I would really just do one deal at a time, second deal, third deal. It just seems to work a lot better
Yeah.
when you can walk away at any point. And so and obviously the syndication business is even easier to do that in than a lot of other businesses, right? Because you can partner up with, Vinney, you and I can partner up on a syndication deal, and hopefully it works out. If it doesn't work out, no harm. We did one deal, and you go on your way and I go on our way.
So right about it. Actually, I had little trouble in early my career where we had a partner who was not looking in the same direction and all those things. That makes it very difficult. And that's what I really vouch now, not to join at the hip, but just do one deal or second deal and third deal. And then, see, and you could even do many deals like that,
Right.
because the property LLC, then manager LLC is where you bring in your interests and other people's interest. Then it's limited to that deal. Wonderful. So what do you do on a daily basis? I know audience would like to know how to progress along, and what kind of goals you got for this year coming up, 2022, or next 3 to 5 years. Where is your focus at?
So I would say, we own a property management company here in the LA area, right? So that's it takes up a significant amount of our time. And so really our biggest struggle, and something I think we do kind of on a day-to-day basis, is really time block and time manage ourselves to make sure that we're able to give our various businesses the proper time and focus. And so with the property management company and with COVID, and you can imagine all the craziness that goes with the property management world, we really try and stick to systems. So I'm really big on, as you can tell, I mean, even this, I don't know how to get rid of this Firefly thing, but like every meeting nowadays is recorded for us with notes transcribed. And so it's all saved in a folder. So if I have questions about a meeting from 2 weeks ago, my assistant just simply goes back into that folder, pulls up the notes that we discussed and say, here you go, this was what's discussed. We do a lot of we do weekly calls with our the buildings that we own, with the property managers, and make sure that we are available to them at all times.
Sure.
Right? Because that's a key component to success, in my opinion. But what we do is just make sure that we have clear cut, not necessarily a job description, but we have clear cut, here's more or less your role, Brent, and here's my role. And while there's a lot of kind of intertwining of that, I think we do a pretty good job of kind of keeping the things separate.
Nice.
So hopefully that answered your question.
Sure. So like for syndication, I mean, you guys are into Texas. Are you thinking to be expanding more in Texas, or thinking about going to Florida or other places, or North Carolina, or, what have you thought about?
So we'll go wherever the deal is. I think I'll never forget when we told you about our deal up in Eastern Washington. You just kind of looked at us sideways, like, what? Why that area? Well, since then, we probably own, I don't know, Brent, throw a number out there, 20, 30, $40 million worth of real estate out there, and it's just cash flowing. And I mean, we go where the deal is. We're not scared of going traveling. You know, I think Brent and I traveled more during COVID than you know, than pre-COVID, just because the opportunities were there, and I think we were willing to be more aggressive and get out there. Essentially, I think by the end of 2022, we'd like to be at about $20 million in assets under our management for syndication. And we're pretty close to halfway there. I think by the end of this year, we'll be halfway there. So hopefully we go through the 20 million by March of next year, but
That'll be awesome.
We'll keep the goal at that point.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Brent, what are you thinking about with the?
I think the biggest thing is, you know, for syndication is the emerging market, right? And how do you rub your crystal ball and know where that is? Well, you know, we obviously hit a home run in Spokane, Washington. I was familiar with the area, and being such a huge medical hub up there, and the job growth, and Amazon just put a giant distribution center in there. The second one going in. So that emerging market has now blossomed into a full blown, you know, everything's overpriced. In Dallas, Fort Worth area, you know, a year and a half ago, we were looking there, and now all these suburb areas are just blowing up. So the challenge is finding the emerging market. And then when you get that off market deal, you underwrite it and it meets your criteria. Because we're even underwriting certain deals and it's off market, it looks great, it might not meet your criteria. And we unfortunately have had to pass on quite a few off market deals that actually, you know, we could have tied them up and gone into escrow, but we ended up passing on it because the numbers just weren't right. And within days, you know, they had multiple offers and they sold it, they put it on the market, whatever it may be, but it just wasn't the right one for us and the right thing for our investors.
I'm so glad you said that, really, Brent. I know we've been coming across the same thing. I know we got the one in Austin. I don't know, I think I might have mentioned to you all, right? We got that Renaissance at the park, really good, near to Domain there, and 113 a door. And the adjoining properties are going for 143 a door now. Holy moly. Wow. You know, so people are overpaying, but you're so right. Just look at the numbers as best as you can. Be conservative because the numbers need to work, right? You know, unless
you can't fudge them.
You cannot. No.
That's
a recipe of disaster. I call it. Yeah.
And that's, to me, it's one of the biggest mysteries in the whole syndication world. And, you know, like social media advertising and whatnot, like a lot of these, you know, we're all about building relationships. So when we go to Texas, we're taking these brokers out for dinner. We're getting to know them. So we're seeing so many deals way ahead of time. And so many of these deals we're passing on. And then like a month later, you see them being advertised and shopped for investors. And I'm like, how are those numbers? Like, it doesn't even make sense. It really is almost like people are just at a point where their goal is just simply to buy everything and anything. We're not into that. We're into a few home runs, and rather than striking out, you know, and hoping to hit a few home runs.
I love that attitude. I love that mindset. And that's what I promote that in our academy and with all the students and myself included, because we just looked at 4 deals in Tampa area and Orlando area and just couldn't make numbers work, could not make them work, you know. And another deal also in Tennessee, somebody paid a lot more. You're right, you know. So no, let's go over here in the round. You know, so you are growing, you're having fun, you know. Are you reading any other books other than mine? You read that before.
I am reading, and I'm not going to lie, it's taking me a lot longer to get it done. And it's a great book, so I'm not saying anything about the book.
Sure.
Of course, I don't even remember the name of the book right now, but I sent it to Brent. It is, here it is. raising private capital.
All right, raising private
So
capital. All right.
it's kind of the, lately we started having discussions with some family home offices and whatnot. And so I'm really trying to wrap my mind around they tend to be a little more complicated of an investor, obviously, and rightfully so. So I'm just trying to kind of wrap my mind around how all that works and whatnot.
Sure. Brent, how about you?
Well, I'll throw you a little bit of a curveball. I've got a few books at home that I think have been collecting dust, but what I've really been doing is podcast and even on YouTube, and just trying to be a student of, the game, so to speak. I just type in syndication business and I just watch videos. So I'm sitting here at work, I have my TV on, I have syndication in the background, when in the car, some podcasts from your podcast to other different groups that are doing different things, and just have it constantly going and trying to pick up different nuggets, through those different venues.
Love it. Love it. You're right. Books and audiobooks, of course, and podcasts and YouTube. YouTube is amazing. I know I love YouTube somehow. Even in my miracle morning upstairs, when I get on elliptical, I just say, okay, what's going on there? Something new on motivation, or something about positive belief or something, that way. Yeah. No, wonderful. How about your systems? I know you both are very systems oriented people. So what kind of things are really working for you?
I would probably say, for me at least, I'm huge on checklists. I have checklists and Asana and tasks, and my wife will say to me, "You didn't book this or you didn't do this." I'll take out my phone, put it on my checklist, and worry about it when I get back to work. And I print out, even though it's all digital, I print out my tasks. 3 pages worth of things to do. And then at the end of the day, somehow golf always tends to get in the way of that. But that's my thing. Technology based. We use Asana, but there's a million other softwares out there. But we use Asana because our assistant can kind of keep track of, what she can step in and help us with and whatnot.
Love it. Brent, any more than that you want to add, buddy?
No, Thomas is a little better at Asana than I am. I have it on there. I keep it there, but I'll be honest, he lives by it a lot more than I do. I do try though, to go into your week. You just don't dive off the diving board and hope that there's water, right? I like to look at my week and see how it's outlined and make sure that my time is managed, from whether I've got inspections, working with groups that are property management, from leasing, maintenance, whatever it may be, that it's kind of time blocked out. So it goes back to systems, everything systems, from syndication, again, systems, talking to brokers, getting the deals, sending it over, having it underwritten, to see if it even makes sense. And if it makes sense, then, we'll do some due diligence. And, again, that's not perfect either. I feel like we're still young in the game. We've done a handful of deals. And each deal, I feel like you learn a little bit more. And I think if we're talking syndication, it's one of the, I think it's one of the toughest ones to get systems in place, because there's so many moving pieces in there. And so we're evolving that. And, someday we'll be like you.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I really, really thank you really for joining me today. And, it's been such a pleasure meeting you both and having you in the academy and personal coaching. And it's been tremendous pleasure for me. And you guys are all, superstars, so for doing fun, we did talk about your bio there and, outside activities and how do you give back and, how can people reach you also? Yeah.
Go ahead, Brent.
Short and sweet outside activities. I love traveling, golfing. I'm trying to teach Thomas how to hit the little white ball.
Me too. Yeah.
And and it's funny because that just reminded me, I think, of seeing something of John taking a swing at a club, and it was hilarious. But anyway, we give back. We do different community events.
Mhm.
With COVID, I think everything's kind of come to a halt, but things are opening back up.
Yes.
We've
I'm
gone
just thinking
down.
my face has been so dark all this time. I just realized I'll just come outside. No, thank you. Thank you.
Get some fresh air there.
No, that's awesome. Awesome for all the things. Thomas, how about you, bud? Yeah.
So I mean, very much the same thing. We do a lot of things together. Brent and I do, and I'm very involved with our parish, and my kids go to Catholic school, so we're just always chasing them around and helping out where we can. A couple things reaching us: Power Capital Group, our website, powercapitalgroupgrp.com.
Sure.
I'm sure you can find us on various social medias too. It's Facebook is Power Capital Group, and Instagram is LinkedIn Power Capital Group, and our phone number and all that's on there. So we'd love to help anybody that needs help, talk to anyone who's interested in working and doing a deal together, and kind of going from there.
There we go. There we go. Excellent. No, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. And today, guys, if you like this content, please share, comment, and give us that 5-star review on iTunes. That really helps a lot to get into the higher rankings. And again, this is Vinney Chopra. Actually, usually I don't come out here and do the podcast, but it's been wonderful out here in the Cancun area. So thank you for keeping the appointment. Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Brent. Brother, you take care, huh? Thank you so much.
See you, Vinney.
Sure. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.